Today we're going to do a different project. It's raining and I'll show you how hard it is raining today. So we're going to work inside, and for the last, I don't know, 3-4 days I've noticed that after I've had a shower, go downstairs to the garage / back cave, there's some water on the floor, so I'm suspecting a leaky shower waste. So let's go and have a look. Right, let's turn this turn the shower on, let it run for a bit, and go see what's happening. Okay, first thing we've got to do is locate any water that may be on the floor. You can see there's a bit there. So let's have a quick look. Yep, you can see that's the shower waste underneath. Let me see if we can get some light on here. And you can see that there's water droplets on the bottom. Oh, and a few just dropped, and there's the water on the beam as well. So let's get up there a bit closer. Okay, we're a bit closer up. I've run the shower. See if we can see any drips. Yeah, just round the top there. If you can see that. There we go. And there as well. So it looks like the problem is between the waste, the grey waste body, and the bottom of the tray. You can see the fiberglass above, that's the tray. It's worthwhile checking while we're here. Is this nut leaking? No, otherwise you'd see water droplets at the bottom of that, and likewise the solvent weld seems fine. That carries on away. So what we're going to do is disconnect this waste and have a look. Okay, here we go. This is the top part of the waste in the shower tray. We need to get access to the waste underneath that we saw previously and see if any of the seals are broken. The top chrome piece should, on this one, just push in on a rubber seal. There are other types which screw in, screw out, that kind of stuff, but on this one it just pulls straight out usually. There we go. So you can see there's a rubber seal. Let's see if we can get in there. Yep. Just where my finger is. And that seals against the white plastic there. The trap is split into two halves. The white plastic top part, which goes through the tray and screws into the bottom grey bit we saw earlier, and should be a seal between them. If that seal has gone wrong or degraded, then when the waste fills up with water, it passes the seal, runs down the waste and drips out underneath, which is exactly what we're seeing. So to get inside, we need to remove that plastic cup in the middle, which forms the trap, which allows the water to go down and stops any drain smells from coming up. So the easiest way to do that is just pull it out with a pair of pliers and put it to one side. There we go, now that's out. We've got the white top part and the grey part underneath there, which is what we saw earlier. So what we want to do is now separate these two pieces. If you're doing this when you've got no access underneath to the waste, which quite a lot of people don't, you've got to be careful that when you unscrew this, that the grey bit doesn't fall down and empty water all over your plasterboard, ceiling, or whatever else is underneath. So it's a good idea at this point to remove any water that's in the bottom of the trap. If you've got a wet and dry vacuum, that would be ideal. If not, just stuff an old towel in there, dry it out. that's pretty loose. So my guess is that the top white section is not sealed to the tray. And we just keep screwing this, and eventually it should separate from the underneath part. Keep going. Quite a lot of threads on it to take account different thicknesses of shower tray. That's it, so it's loose, the grey part hasn't gone anywhere. Right, now we've got that separated, we can see that there's something there that shouldn't be there. So you've got a grey, it's difficult to see if you can see this. You've got the grey bottom half there, you can see the hole out to the waste pipe. On top of that there's a black sealing ring, and that's supposed to seal underneath the shower tray. But on top of that we've got something here. This looks like plastic, and I think probably what's happened is when it was fitted, the shower tray had some plastic covering on underneath, and when they tighten the sealing ring up, it's tightened against the plastic, and then over the years that's just degraded or broken and moved and allowing water around the side and down. That would certainly account for the symptoms that we had. So what I'm going to do now is just reassemble that and tighten it up and see if we get the same problem. It's worth noting, if you get to this stage, that you could take the black ring out here to clean it, which is what we'll do, and also check that it's not broken, cracked, or anything like that. Now, if you've got nothing to help you here, no tools, and you've got no spare parts, and this is a Sunday night special, and everyone wants it done for Monday morning, the easiest way to do this is take the remaining black rubber washer out and then put sealant, usually clear, on top in place of that, but make sure it's continuous all the way around. Screw it back together and that should do the same job. But ideally what you want to do is replace this sealing washer that's designed for it. So I'll clean all this up and then we'll reassemble it. Okay, reassembly is pretty much the same, just reverse order. So you can see there's the grey and then the tray, the grey being the waste underneath, and the tray there. I've cleaned round underneath the tray and on top of the grey waste. So we just need to slot this, it's difficult one-handed. Make sure that's centered. So I've now got the grey, the black and then the white. And at this point the audio stops working on the camera. Great. Anyway, I'm explaining that if you have this situation and there's a ceiling underneath, so a cavity between the floor and the ceiling underneath, it's best when you're doing this to try and support the waste from dropping down where you can't get to it in that hole there. And if you can use something like a wire coat hanger or anything in there, when you're unscrewing it and while you're doing all the repairs on it, it'll stop the grey waste dropping down, because especially in the UK, quite a lot of the waste pipes aren't fitted particularly well, and they could run back towards the waste, and as it drops down, it'll fill up with water, and then that'll go through your ceiling. So always try and keep the waste as high as possible. So I'll just screw in the white locking top part into the bottom. Some people like to put sealant between that and the tray. You can do that if you want. It's not necessary if it's fitted properly, and it does make it more difficult next time, or if in the future you want to remove this waste and do some more repairs on it, you've then got to deal with old sealant, which will need removing and clearing off. Once you've done that, you need to put the plastic cup back in the waste. This forms the seal so that you don't get any drain smells coming up. So we just pop that back in the middle. That's it, and then the chrome cover just pushes in and the rubber seal holds it in place. Okay, shower is running full. You can hear it. It's the water going into the waste down there, along the beam, down and into the waste. Goes out to the septic tank. All looks good so far. No leaks. If there was any, we would have definitely seen it by now. So I think we can call this one a fix. Simple job. Pretty easy. No tools. And done in less than an hour.